This is the Simtronics SPM 5601 Combined Cycle Power Plant Training Simulator. This overview schematic shows the 5 main areas of the plant. The first area is the gas turbine, which is using, in this case, fuel gas for firing. We can also use oil for firing. And it's producing electricity through its generator, and then hot exhaust is being used and sent to the heat recovery steam generator for generating high pressure steam. There is a bypass stack available, so in case we want to just simply run the gas turbine alone, we can do that. We can isolate it from the heat recovery steam generator and vent the exhaust directly to a stack. As I mentioned, the second unit is the heat recovery steam generator. We're generating high pressure steam, superheated at a single pressure level. That steam is then being taken and fed into the third section of the plant, which is the steam turbine with its generator. The steam turbine has 3 stages. There is reheat between the high pressure and the intermediate pressure stages in the heat recovery steam generator. So there's that integration. The exhaust steam from the low pressure stage is then condensed in the surface condenser using circulating cooling water. That's the 4th section of the plant. And then the cooling water goes around to a cooling tower with boiler feed water circulation pumps. So we have that integration in with the condenser. Finally, the condensate is collected and returned and reheated back through the heat recovery steam generator, and then continues back to the boiler feed water section, where we have the deaerator and high pressure boiler feed water pumps to serve the heat recovery steam generator. Additional water is brought in to make up for blowdown losses and any venting losses that may occur in the operation. And that's it in a nutshell. So you have a fully interactive simulation, do startup and shutdown. We do synchronization with the grid during startup. That can be done manually or it can be done automatically. I'll illustrate that. I'll go ahead to our gas turbine control page, schematic page. And you see here we have the synchroscope, and as I mentioned, you can you can do a synchronization manually or you can do it automatically by selecting the appropriate switches here on the synchroscope. And you'll get a visual indication if you're doing this manually and even observing, of course, the auto synchronization feature. You'll be able to follow that and see that phase of the startup and follow and understand it and practice it if you need to. Okay, back to the overview schematic. I'm going to go real quick. As I mentioned, we can run the simulation in a variety of modes, one of which is just the single cycle, just having the gas turbine alone with all the other 4 sections of the plant shut down. Also, we can run the gas turbine without its generator in operation, so that it's supplying hot exhaust to the heat recovery steam generator, and then essentially that's running as a thermal power plant. So we'll still have the steam turbine in operation along with the boiler feed water section and the cooling tower. So you got a lot of flexibility in what you can do in operations. Additionally, with the steam turbine, it can be run in droop control and it can be run in pressure control for the steam header pressure control. Normally it's running in steam header pressure control. If you run it in droop control, that means the steam take is going to be determined by the grid frequency. And in that case, the pressure control, the high pressure steam header, will be based on bypassing steam around the steam turbine to the condenser. So we have that line built in so you can understand that mode of operation and practice it. And that can also be an alternative operation just in case you have to take the steam turbine generator out of service and you still want to run the heat recovery steam generator. Take all that steam and just bypass it around the steam turbine and then condense it and then exhaust, of course, all that heat to cooling water. Okay, and that's it in a nutshell. I'll give you a little presentation of our virtual field operator. Our virtual field operator is integrated with the simulation so that any data that you see in the virtual field operator is that which you would also see or control through the DCS in the simulator. So I'm going to use an Xbox controller to take a look around. As you can see, we've got a power plant here, so we get our get a little perspective of where we are in the plant. We see the heat recovery steam generator in the distance, our cooling tower off to our right, tank to our right, a heat exchanger in front of us, and that looks like a generator and steam turbine in front of us because we see some power lines coming out of it. So that gives us a good indication it's a generator there somewhere. So as you can see, we can walk around and navigate. On this view, we're looking from behind the operator. If you see anything colored, we can go up to it and we can inspect it. We can look at valves. So if I can also change my perspective of when I'm looking at things, so a first person, and then I can look at valve positions and things of that nature. I could also now just shuffle off to the left, to the right a little bit, and then look down and I can see there's I have to back up a little bit probably, see the reading 1.67. And I have an X on it says X for text there at the lower part of the screen, and that's the cooling water header pressure indicator. Okay, and B for close. I'm going to close that window. In the upper right, as you approach an instrument, you notice in the upper right there's a box showing the relevant information also there. I can also interact with equipment I can turn equipment on and off, such as pump motors. So I'm going to actually change my perspective back to the second person looking from behind. And let's walk around and find a pump. So we're going to have to go back over this walkway here. And we see that we do the proper adjustment there. And so we come to this pump. I think we want to go through the B pump. We don't want to upset anything. And as we approach this here, we'll say, if we see in the upper right corner, it says, oh, I'm sorry, I should have done that. I started using my mouse to point, and that was a mistake. So now I'll go back to the game controller. You see in the upper right, it says cooling water pump P501B. It is stopped, and I can use the toggles on my game controller to start that pump. And if we go back to the simulator, we can call up a display for the cooling water. So we'll go to the cooling tower, and we can see that we've got both the A and the B pumps running, and we see now that we've disturbed the header pressure. And so now this controller appears to be increasing its output because the pressure is too high, and we're trying to bleed back more flow to the cooling tower, recycling it, because we have overpressured our cooling water header. Okay, so it is interactive. We go through it, and that's pretty much in a nutshell our combined cycle power plant simulator with the virtual field operation.